שמש דקה ומרפא בכנפיה.
Now Boaz had gone up. He went up not just from a lower place, from the threshing floor into town, but in the biblical context it's very clear. He went up to the place of justice. You always go up in the Bible to Jerusalem, where the thrones stand for judgment. So also in the context, if we think from the book of Judges towards the book of Ruth, Boaz showed effective and concerned leadership. He took the initiative. That means to go up. In the book of Judges, in the first chapter and in the 20th chapter, the people ask, who should go up before us? And the Lord says, Judah shall arise. That's what it is written. It's the same word, should go up. So Boaz shows the leadership that had been expected of the tribe of Judah to produce kingship. An Israelite king was expected to display this kind of leadership that we see with Boaz. It says Boaz had gone up to the gate, to the city gate. In ancient Mideastern cities, there were no huge places within the city like the Roman Forum or the Greek agora. The gate, the city gate, was very much the marketplace, we would call it today, the center of life where everything happened. So when the two angels came to meet Lot, they met him in the city gate of Sodom. Or when Abraham wanted to make a deal about the field in Machpelah, he came to the city gate of Hebron. In the city gate we meet Absalom, we meet Ahab and Jehoshaphat and King Zedekiah. It was there that criminal cases were discussed, that family matters were dealt with, everything that was of public interest, legal transactions, business matters, you name it. Prophetic exhortations or public punishments. If there had to be executions, they happened in the city gate. But also idolatrous practices or communal reading of the Torah, we encounter in the city gate. It was something like a marketplace, but also like a judicial court. When Boaz went up to the city gate, and then also pay attention to the verb that he sat down there. He told the public around him, I'm ready to do business. I'm ready for a judicial process to convene some kind of official ceremony. And then it says in verse 2, and he took 10 men. It's interesting that most Christian exegetes I consulted, I read, they say either don't mention it or they say, oh, the number of 10, it doesn't say anything. It's not clear why he took 10 men and not 9 and not 11. It's in a way amusing that the old German Rabbi Benno Jakob, he says it's very easy. Every child understands the number 10, therefore there are not a lot of explanations. Just look at your fingers. All counting began with the fingers. And if you have 10 fingers, you have 2 hands. You have everything you need. You have 2 hands full, or you have 2 hands ready to do business. Therefore, the Talmud says that if there has to be a blessing on a bridegroom, it has to be pronounced by 10 men. Or up to this day, a synagogue is ready for prayer if there are at least 10 men, a minyan. So Boaz took 10 men of the elders of the city, and again, it's a judicial court, and he tells them, sit down, and they sat down. And later on in verse 4, they're called those who are sitting. So this is not just respect towards the elders that Boaz is showing, but it is an installation of a court. And if we look at all the key words, we mentioned already the word Shem, the name, that is possible for chapter 4, but also the word Ga'al, to redeem, or Kana, to buy, or then we have to add here to sell, Machar. All these words are legal terminology. It is actually remarkable how attentive the book scroll of Ruth, that actually is a love story. It's a story about a personal fate of a family, a tragedy, but how attentive it is to legal matters. Now, we mentioned that the book of Ruth is about redemption. And redemption, from a biblical point of view, is not a question of chance, of emotion, of compassion, of feelings, or even hormones, or a question of chemistry within the human body. Also not of possibilities. It's a question of legal matters. Those who strive for redemption must make clear decisions and know and adhere to legal contexts, and they have to act accordingly, according to their decisions within certain legal contexts. And then they have to be also ready and prepared to make binding commitments in front of witnesses. So redemption from God's point of view is about legal realities, about obligations, about decisions, and then about a consistent implementation of the decisions that have been made.